So I'm going to go through right now some different tools and techniques that you can use if you're dealing with someone that's under a lot of distress or really upset. The first thing is be careful with your tone. There's someone in distress and you become distressed also, either being anxious or upset or yelling at them, it's only going to make them worse, because by doing that, you're increasing the part of their brain that's saying danger or I'm doing something wrong or being negative. Watch over your breathing. Your breathing should be slow and deep. If you're breathing really short and shallow, interestingly enough, just by doing that, other people start to feel anxious. It's something that we unconsciously read in others as a sign of something isn't right. Someone's upset. And so sometimes also when you feel upset, it might just be that you're reading that off of someone else. If your voice is really high pitched or your speech patterns are really short and curt and upset, or if you're talking really deeply and aggressively, other people are going to feel worse. And this is especially important with children, especially when they're about to start their day. Often we're rushing and we're upset and we're trying to make them go through things faster. Well, if you're doing that, you're making them feel more frustrated and more flustered, and it actually increases the chances that they're going to forget things. Often we're doing this because we think that if we do this, it's going to make them rush and do things faster, but it comes at a cost, and that is their feeling of being calm and okay. Try not to say those condescending words of, just be happy, stop that, you're being anxious. They probably already know those things and they can't do it. You want to lead more by example than just by saying things. And I think that this works also very well for parenting. You want someone to do something, then do it. Don't say it. That would mean that while you're there, you're going to act calm and let them know, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. We've got this. Don't worry. You've always handled this well. We're going to do it together. Even if the worst case scenario happens, I'm here with you. That feeling of love and support right away diffuses that sense that we sometimes have in our mind that the worst case is going to happen, or we go into those doomsday scenarios. And you don't want to feed into that of, someone saying, you know what, I'm really worried that I'm going to fall down. And the person says, yeah, you know what, you're right. If you fall down, you'll probably die. That's probably not going to help them feel more calm and secure. Asking what you can do, how you can help is a really nice question, but the problem is that if someone's really anxious or upset, they may not know because they're just busy processing, and asking someone too many questions is probably too much and may overload them even more, even if they're good, helpful questions. What often is a better thing to do is to be able to look at what you think is the next thing that has to happen and take things off of their plate. If they're getting ready for supper, maybe you would set the table. You're trying to lessen their load, and when things are done, then they'll feel more relaxed. Now, for some people, they may be controlling, and you doing things might actually make them more upset. So you do also have to take a look at what is their personality type and how do they like to be treated. Also, often that look of like, I get it, and I'm here to support you. And if someone feels comfortable with touch, if you have that kind of relationship, can also diffuse someone's anxiety, that feeling that they're not alone. If they're being mocked or if they're being looked at like, oh, they're too much and having their eyes rolled, it's really painful because when you're feeling anxious or upset, already you usually feel alone. So that look of, I have your back, that lowers your anxiety or your feelings of, you know what, no one really gets me. And when you give that caring look of, I got you, I have your back, and you're not going to have to worry, that right away makes us feel better because we feel the need that we have a tribe. We're not going in this without anyone. And if the worst case scenarios, someone else will back me up. Some people, when they're in distress, they just want to kind of go into the cave. But to know that someone's there if they happen to need it, that's often just as good, and for some people even better than having someone directly there. You have to respect that everyone deals when they're feeling upset and frustrated in different ways. And sometimes the best thing you can do is leave them alone and make sure that other people leave them alone. Other people, when they're in distress, they want other people to be there. And not everyone has the same rule book. So the things that work for you may not work for someone else. And you want to respect the way that they handle and defuse when they're feeling angry, frustrated, or upset. Sometimes we don't get that. And so we're trying to force them because we believe that this is the way that I feel better. So I'm going to try to force it, impose it upon you. And that's really disrespectful because, and you mean it out of love. You mean it because, you know what, well, this works and I think that this is going to work. And you might be 100% sure that it's going to work, but you can't force someone else to go down the path. You can bring them to water, but it's up to them if they want to drink. Ask if they would like to do something, listen to music, have some fun. You test it out, and then if they say no, you need to give them the respect to make their choices if they want to. But for some people, when they're in distress, it's really hard for them to be able to reach out and say it. And so that, you know what, I would love if you could help me be able to paint or go dancing or do something. Now, you don't want to obligate them and make them feel guilty, but sometimes you offering them opens the door that they're going to be able to feel comfortable enough to deal with it. And I like the question of, do you want to talk about it? And then respect if they say yes or if they say no. And if you like this video, make sure to check out the whole series, ad-free, sponsor-free, on Nebula, including my first exclusive special on the animation of Arcane and why this unique style creates such an intense emotional connection. I also have a bunch of other specials to come, available only on Nebula, where I have the luxury of making videos and I don't have to really optimize for YouTube, and I can make the ones that I really want to. All of these will be ad-free, sponsor-free on Nebula, and bundled in for free when you sign up with today's sponsor, CuriosityStream, at curiositystream.com/Georgia Dow, or click on the link below. And right now, because you're watching this video, you can get CuriosityStream for 26% off. That's less than $15 a year. A year. That's less than buying one pizza, and you get it for the whole year. And that includes thousands of amazing documentaries, like the one that I'm going to be watching next, Curious Minds: The Science of Sleep. That explains, what does our brain really do when we sleep? What's the function of sleep? And experts are going to tell us about what happens when we rest and dream. This is also the best way to support educational creators directly, and the best deal in streaming today for 26% off CuriosityStream, less than $15 a year, and you get Nebula bundled in for free. Just click the button on the screen below or head on over to curiositystream.com/Georgia Dow. Clicking on that link really does help this channel, so hopefully this gives those of us that are trying to support other people when they're in distress some tools and techniques to be able to make everyone's life a little bit brighter. And if you like this video and you want more psychology videos or want to know when my next video is out, you can just hit subscribe.